it's Yvonne. Okay, it's Saturday. We are going to go to the flea market. So let me turn you guys around and we'll go do that. Here we go. Got my shipping ready for Monday. Right there. So far so good. Saturday morning. Taking Pops with me. So going to go to the outdoor flea market. So this is half frozen. Packed me something to drink. And this is going to be my setup. This little rolling cart. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm trying. There's no light, right? And then I've got a bin. There are actually 2 bins for support and then a lid. And there's some bungee cords. So I'm going to break that back down so it goes into my trunk. And then I'll set it up when we get to the flea market. These are just some packing supplies and my drink I'll put in there. Let me back up. I want to show you something. My husband bought me that. It's just the bottom part to one of those like big fancy massage chairs. I don't know how much it was, 150 something like that. Oh my gosh, I highly recommend it, you guys. It's awesome. Just put your legs in it, see? Okay, so we're in. We were late, so we didn't have to pay admission. But for those of you that have heard me talk about being in Dallas in the 80s and 90s and working the indoor flea market, this is kind of what it looked like. Like this lady obviously has like is buying the bulk imports, and this is kind of what we did. Everything from tools to the hats to the t-shirts, you know, to the inexpensive costume jewelry. So this is kind of like what our stores look like as well, except we did it at an indoor flea market. And we would get booths, the same thing she's done. It looks like she's probably rented about at least 4 or 5 booths and made it into a big store, because you can also go into her store. Like she's got stuff in there too. But we're gonna hustle around, and I wanna go over to the fruit people too, and get some vegetables before we go. But we gotta hustle because we're a little late. But I just kinda wanted to show you guys kind of what it was like in the 80s and 90s when all of this imported stuff started coming in, and it was before the 99-cent stores. So we really did like make a killing during the 90s. It was awesome. Kind of the booths that I like to come to when I come to the flea market. I'm not really necessarily, you know, I don't care about the imported stuff. I know about that. I want to come to the more, you know, unique thrift shops like what this lady has. So we're going to look around here and see what she's come up with. She looks like probably a hustler just like we are, and she's put it all in her booth. And I bet you there are some treasures in here for us to find. Oh, let's just see. You guys look.
Oh, I will.
Want to find a nightlight wherever we're at, here or a store or wherever.
All right. Here's your hat then, Dad, so I can have my other hand to look. I see a couple things I want to touch. Mermaids. I think I might have to get these. And I kind of like this. That's modern, though. I like it. Let me see how much the little mermaid brass hangers are. Nothing super old, no carnival glass. But I like retro stuff too, so. And some of the modern stuff, you would be surprised. Let's see what's happening here. Uh-oh, got fooled. Should have known. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything that screams, hey, I can make some money off of you, Yvon. So, I'm gonna ask about those mermaids and move on to the next one. Okay, so now I'm inside. This is another pavilion, and this is yet another example of like a import flea market type store, kind of like what we did in the 80s and 90s. So I thought I'd just show you another one. So this is all like imported stuff from China overseas, right? And if you want to do something like this, it's not that hard. Now, when I did it in the 80s and 90s, it's when everything was first coming over, right? So, like, it wasn't all up in Walmart, wasn't as huge every corner. It wasn't all up in all of the flea markets and little mom and pop stores yet. Oh, I like that one. Anyways, I like that one. It wasn't all oversaturated. Okay, so now it is a little bit trickier, but you can still do it. Again, this stuff tends to be really not the greatest quality. Most of you have been to flea markets or these mom and pop stores, or even low-end little boutiques, but there is still some money to be made. It's kind of has to work in volume. But if you want to do something like that and you look around and do your research, or I might be one to discuss it, I'm not sure yet. But it's not that hard to find the middlemen for this that are importing it into containers, breaking it up, and selling it back out in quantity. Usually you have to have a resale license if they're legit, and they'll have some minimums, maybe at least 6 or a dozen of an item. So you do want to kind of deal in volume to get the best prices. And again, this is just not the best quality, so it does do better in flea markets. I think you guys are getting my drift. But as you can see, here's another person that must have at least 8 booths, right, together. And she's making, he or she or them are making it work. Again, it needs to be volume, okay? But I'll discuss it a little bit. Okay, that's all. Well, and you know what? One of these days, I'll go dig up some old footage. It's on VHS, okay? This is some old footage of all the stores we used to have. We actually had them set up a little nicer than that, of course. All the stores we had, the brick and mortar store. One of these days, I think I've shown a few pictures, but, excuse me, I've never really, like, transferred over the footage where I could really show people some things. But anyways, we made a lot of money, and this was in the 80s and 90s, and we did really well. And of course, things are a little different. Competition is trickier. Online adds a whole nother element to the competition. It is lower end stuff. I won't even talk about the fakes and things because I just won't. But anyways, there's that. Okay, moving on. Okay, so now we're going to do this jewelry booth. It looks nice. It's like a combination of new, old, and retro. So we'll check it out and look over real carefully. I mean, even some newer stuff is fun though, right? So,
Christopher? Yeah, Christopher. I think.
There's some Betsy Johnson.
Lori. Last name Lori.
Oh, I like this one. Let's see how much these are. Oh, and look, it could be a pin too. I like that one.
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Something like that.
Okay. I'll call them for you.
Super cute.
You get the credit though, right?
That's crazy. Oh, but wait a minute. That one or?
Anyway,
No, this one, right? This one.
Try
Okay.
the one day.
I will.
What happened?
I will. I just happen to know somebody that needs some insurance. How are you folks today?
Very good.
Good deal.
Old-fashioned brush. Cute
Oh yeah, for your niece likes, what is it, your niece likes the skeletons?
Yeah, she's 38.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you guys down and look at all this stuff. And he's giving me a really good deal on one of these Betsy Johnsons. I'm just gonna pick one out, but I'm still looking, and this caught my eye. He's got some silver over here with some, you know, gemstones, or what do you call that?
Yeah, that's lapis.
Precious stones or something.
That's semi-precious.
Yeah, so I might get this one. But anyways, this is what I wanted to show you. Dan, say hi.
Hi, Dan.
This is his booth. Look at this ring. It actually works too. It's a fishing rod ring. Isn't that adorable?
It's sterling silver and bronze, Turkish bronze.
Oh my gosh, you guys, that's so fun. Anyways, if you're in Colorado Springs, this is Dan's booth. He has a regular booth, so I'm assuming you're here every weekend, all year round.
Yep, I'm here all year round.
And
Saturday, Sunday.
That's his friend.
Marley Crew. I am Marley Crew. Hi.
There's you. And there's Dad hanging out while we're just chatting. I just wanted to show you guys that I'm not leaving here without buying something. Look at all this cool stuff.
Call me Marley Crew.
So everything's about to close up, so I'm going to put you guys back down, and I'm going to pick something to buy. Okay? I will talk to you guys later. So I did buy this, the 925 with the semi-precious stones from him. I like that. I don't have anything like that. And so I splurged and bought that for myself for $25. And just for fun, I spotted this. I paid $5, just some imported, inexpensive costume jewelry. But I want to wear that with a rockabilly outfit that I kept. I kept one rockabilly outfit. I don't know if you guys remember that polka dot dress. I think if I'm going to ham it up and have fun at some kind of event, you know, where it's appropriate, you know, to wear that 50s kind of thing, I'm going to add that and have extra fun. Okay, great time. And again, next weekend we're going to that marketplace, that indoor, and I'm going to study vintage glassware and some of the antiques, more vintage and retro. I'm going to use that time to kind of study. So those of you that are learning, you know, watch out for that next weekend, and we'll go in and we'll learn some things, okay? All right, you guys, I will talk to you later.